Welcome to Chemical Guy's Detail Garage. Today we have this black BMW 320i in the shop, and it's a daily driver, which means it faces all kinds of fallout, including water spots, pollen, bee and bird poop droppings, as well as any kind of dirt that collects on the surface. And instead of showing you guys how to wash it using a foam can or a foam gun, we thought it'd be a great time to show you guys rinse-free. This will be your wash solution in a bottle. And what's great is you don't need to use running water or a hose. All you need is simply to do is spray on there, and also using your wash buckets, we're also going to remove any abrasive particles from the surface, and it simply removes it all without adding any kind of imperfections. To begin, we're going to set up one of our 32-ounce spray bottles with a heavy-duty sprayer. This is just your average clean water that's inside of the bottle. And then we're going to add an ounce or two of the rinse-free to the solution. This way we can spray it on the heavier surfaces or the more abrasive particles. This way we're not causing any kind of scratches or swirls. We'll simply mix this solution together, and then we can spray it on there just like you would with a quick detail sprayer or a waterless wash. And this is just going to help emulsify abrasive particles or anything like bird droppings, which are really acidic. This way we're not grinding it into the paintwork. We're also going to be using a 5-gallon bucket with water with the same amount of solution, probably 2 or 3 ounces for that, using one of our chenille microfiber wash mitts to help absorb the abrasive particles, just like we would when we're washing. But we choose to use microfiber because this will trap and encapsulate the abrasive particles and grime, and it carries it off of the surface rather than grinding it in or potentially harming the finish. To further reduce the chances of scratching this black paint job, we're going to be using 2 of our dirt trap bucket inserts. And what this does is, as you wash your vehicle, you're collecting a lot of that debris onto your wash mitt or your sponge. And then as you force it against the dirt trap face, you're forcing it into these cones, and then it gets trapped underneath this platform here, so it doesn't get swirled around in your clean water or in your secondary bucket. But now we're going to move over to our buckets, and I'll show you how to set those up for our rinse-free waterless wash solution. So now we're going to place a dirt trap in each one of our buckets. We'll place them at an angle, and then push them all the way to the bottom of the bucket to create an airtight seal. This will prevent the dirt from coming back up to your clean water or to your soapy water solution. And we're also going to add a couple ounces of rinse-free to our wash bucket. And this is going to help add lubricants and also the cleaning power that we need to reduce the chances of harming the black paintwork, as well as removing any abrasive particles or any stubborn stuff such as pollen or tree sap, water spots, or bird poop. We're also going to be using one of our chenille microfiber wash mitts, which will start by getting wet. This way it collects more of the cleaner. Then we can use it to also mix the solution together. And then just like with any wash process, we're going to start at the top of the vehicle and work our way down. Normally we would start with the wheels, but in this case where we're not going to be potentially flinging product or mess all over the place, it's okay to start at the top. We're going to be working in linear motions to prevent any kind of scratches or swirls. And again, you can use this on any surface, including your paintwork, your glass, your wheels, and even your engine bay to clean it up and make it look its best. Now, starting on the roof of the BMW, we're also going to be using our rinse-free just to mist onto the surface. And we've already let the vehicle cool down so that it's not going to dry or potentially stain anything. And then working in those linear motions, this is going to help to remove anything that's on the surface. And I'm also rolling the wash mitt so we're not dragging. This is going to reduce the chances of harming the paintwork, because on a dark color vehicle such as black, you're going to see all kinds of imperfections. So we want to reduce the chances of adding anything new or potentially damaging the vehicle. So taking our time and the precaution to work in linear motions will prevent the installation of scratches or swirls. But already you can see there's a light layer of dirt that's coming off onto the wash mitt. So now we're going to go back to our second bucket and then push it all the way against the dirt trap. And again, like I mentioned, this is going to release any of the debris and grime from the sponge or your wash mitt, and it traps it underneath those cones. And now, since we're working inside of the detail garage today, we don't want to wring this out on the ground. So instead what we're going to do is use the third bucket and just wring it out in there. This way we're not creating some potential slip hazard, and also we're keeping the shop nice and clean. But this is a great way for you guys who live in apartments or areas where you don't have access to a hose. If you're looking for a great way to just clean your car and keep it looking its best, rinse-free is the way to go. So continuing the same process, just going to work in linear motions, gently removing anything that lands on the vehicle. Because like I mentioned, this car, it's a daily driver and it also sits outside, so it's subjected to all kinds of fallout. We wanted a way to show you guys how to remove all this without using a bucket and a hose and all kinds of pressure washers or foam cannons. But we wanted a way to show you guys who don't have access to hoses or running water, just a great way to keep your car looking its best. And you can see it's very simple to do. All you need is just a couple buckets, your wash mitt. And now we're going to show you the easiest way to dry it using a couple towels. Now the beauty of rinse-free, it means that you don't need a hose to rinse off any of the spent product. All you need is your favorite clean microfiber towel. And just like with your waterless washes or your quick detail sprays, you want to use a clean microfiber towel and wipe in linear motions. And we're also rolling the towel just like we did with the wash mitt to prevent dragging anything that may have been left on the surface. And I like using these blue silk banded edge towels for jobs such as this because they're very plush, but they're also two-sided, so you can use one side for picking up the bulk of the spent product and come back with the other side to buff off any kind of streaks or any remaining product to reveal a perfect shine. Now, as you guys can see, we remove that light layer of dust or bee droppings and bird droppings, water spots, and anything else that lands on the surface of the vehicle without causing any new scratches or swirls, but also enhancing the gloss. And it's also very easy to use. As you saw, you just need to spray directly onto the surface, wipe it away, and then use your favorite clean microfiber towel to dry the surface. So if you guys want to learn more about rinse-free, head over to our website, chemicalguys.com, or to your local detail garage. If you guys liked today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Drop your comments down below for any future videos or anything else you may have questions about. We'll see you guys next time.